Welcome to episode 7 of the Catatonic podcast with your hosts George and Marcus and our guest Rory Jones.
DJ Roey Lewis.
Roey Lewis.
Yes, sir. Roey Lewis, baby.
Yeah. So tell us who you are.
Well, I'd say I'm the world's sexiest man.
Okay.
That's first off.
100%.
I'd say the second because I'm here.
Let's
Let's not get into that. Let's not get into
No,
that.
I'd say no offense. I'd say you're third because I'm here.
Oh.
Second, you're third. No offense.
Nah, but I'm a pretty cool guy. I'm a DJ. So I do a lot with that.
Mm-hmm.
And or I'm a McDonald's worker. I've been working there for probably a little over 3 years, almost 4.
Yeah.
And just a pretty, chill, normal dude. You know what I mean? Nothing too crazy.
Okay. Now, how is it being a DJ?
It's amazing, dude.
It's amazing.
Like I go so many places, meet a bunch of different people, and I learn different music, and I learn how to work the crowd and stuff like that. Because when I get a great crowd, their energy feeds into me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I love that vibe.
How is that? Like that vibe? Like when you're with the crowd, like how does that feel?
Because that's like a lot of responsibility.
It's
You know
just
what I
like
mean? It's the vibe of the party.
Yeah, it's just like a natural high type of thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I go in my zone, and then once I'm in there, I'm doing my thing. Ain't no taking me out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's amazing.
So like, do you like plan a playlist ahead of time, or like you just have something you choose from, or it's just like in the moment, kind of like let me get this song on, mix it up a little bit, and do something from there, or
A lot of it, well, I have a list of, crates and a bunch of music,
yeah,
but a lot of it, I just do it on site.
Tight.
Any mixing that I do,
mm.
I just not pre-recorded or anything.
That's fire.
I do it right there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you know what's right?
Well, so on like the track ID on the computer,
Mm-hmm.
it'll have different songs and genres. And if they're the same tempo, that's how you know you can mix them in. You can slow them down and tweak them to
Mhm.
where they have to be to blend together well.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Now, have you ever been in a situation where the crowd didn't like your music?
Oh, yeah. I've been there a couple times. But I mean, after you've been doing it as long as I've been doing it, it doesn't even bother you.
Mm.
Speaking of that, when did you start? Like, yeah, like you've been at this for a couple years now. Seems
Yeah.
like.
Probably like, I think I got my first, sorry.
It's all good.
Cut that off. I got my first like DJ equipment when I was like 12, 13.
Mm-hmm.
So
Damn.
So you've been plowing this for a while.
Yeah, I've been at it. I've been practicing the art for quite a bit.
Is this your passion, like your dream?
Well, I wouldn't say it's a dream. It's more just like a hobby,
Mm-hmm.
But if it were to take me somewhere, I wouldn't be mad at it because I love doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You think about making your own music or something? Like, it's a very musical talent you got here. I mean, you're mixing shit on the spot. Ever thought about like making something?
Well, yeah, I make beats here and there. I got a few beats on my phone that is not too bad.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'll let you hear them after the podcast.
I'm down. Yeah, I want to listen to them. I have recommended you to a couple people. You know how there's kids around school that are like, oh, I want to rap this, that, and the fourth.
Mm-hmm.
I have recommended you. I think I've given away like 2 or 3 business cards as well. I'm
You
guessing-
got business cards?
Yes, sir.
Tight.
Yes, sir, I do.
You need to give me a couple more. I only got like 1 more left.
I got you. I got a bunch of them in my wallet.
What George fund you want?
Mhm.
Yeah, I need to get my business cards too in my wallet, man. You gotta remember that shit.
Yeah.
Like, speaking of that, how is it owning a business, working, and then going to school and having life? Like, how is that balancing all that?
Well, I mean, it's not too hard. You know what I mean? Because I just, mentally, it's not straining or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, physically, it does get tiring. Because, like, for example, next Saturday, I work 8 hours. And then right after work, I have to go home, change. And that next hour, I have to be at a gig. So, it does get a little tiring. But other than that, I mean, it's still enjoyable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I go to a party, I get free food, meet people,
Mm-hmm.
see a bunch of ass shaking. It's just,
Yeah.
I don't mind.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
nice.
Shit.
Yeah. Now, is it profitable?
Yes. Very.
Now, what would you say your profit to expense ratio is?
I couldn't even tell you that. But I can tell you I've made everything back.
Okay.
Double, triple.
Oh shit.
So,
Yeah. Now, what about the risks involved? Because you're at parties, fights could break out, people can get a little too drunk and fall into your equipment. Like, have you ever dealt with that?
No, because I bring security with me. Like, I bring my boy with me, and if somebody start getting too close, he'll go over there and tell them to back up. You know.
Okay, so you have employees?
Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
So you have like a little group you work with or something?
Yeah, it's really just the two of us. Me and my boy Judah. Shout out to you, Judah. W Mans.
Type shit, yeah.
But me and him, we'll go to a gig and unload, do our thing, and he'll stand there and make sure everything's cool. You know.
How you be getting these gigs? You like have a website or something, or people just be calling you up? Like, is it word of mouth or like?
It's word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
Yeah.
So you be getting some good clientele from word of mouth then.
Yeah.
Get your name out there. That's fire.
Because it all started when I DJ'd for my cousin like years ago, and then he had a bunch of people at his party, and then they were like, "Oh man, I got to hire him," and then they all started calling me.
Wow.
And then I started getting schools and stuff like that.
Oh, schools hire you and shit.
Dell State Early College. I DJ for them next Thursday.
Nice.
Yeah, it'll be their some type of dance.
Yeah,
some type of dance they're doing. Yeah.
You ever DJ for a prom?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I've done proms.
Oh my god, that's fucking sick.
Same
dude.
school.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a lot of responsibility owning your own business, like scheduling things? Like, how do you work it all out?
Well, I just got to make sure, like with my daily job, I got to make sure I'm off the day that I have to DJ for my, you know what I mean? So it is a lot of responsibility because people are paying you a lot of money.
Yeah.
To, you know what I mean, to make sure you're there and do what you got to do. So there can't be any flaws. Okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you into like the DJs, like the DJ sphere, like the DJ atmosphere? You know what I'm saying? Are you into that? Like, do you know different DJs?
Yeah.
You talk to them? Do you work with them?
Yeah, I know some different DJs, and I've actually DJ'd with a band before, with a live band. We were going back and forth. It was pretty cool. But yeah, I know a couple of DJs, especially like online and stuff, because we got access to everything. You can meet anybody. Yeah. Like sometime I go on my VR and I'll get on this app. It's called like Tribe or something like that. Tribe DJ, and you meet just a bunch of aspiring DJs and people who've been in the game. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I can go to them and get knowledge and whatever else.
That's pretty sick, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy. And you were only 18?
Yes, sir.
Damn. Accomplish all this before you're fucking legally an adult. That's crazy. Yeah. That's the grind set right there.
Yes, sir.
So when did you start using this as a tool to make money? Like, how old would you say you were?
Probably around 15 turning 17. I mean 15 turning 16, my fault. Okay, probably around there is when I started like, I can make some,
turn it into a side hustle.
Yeah, I can make some pretty good money off this.
Type shit.
I work one day, make $100, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because at first I was charging, $100, $150.
Yeah.
Just something small, just something to keep me going.
What's the going rate now?
Well, so the school that I'm going to next week, I'm probably gonna be there for like 2 or 3 hours, and I'm making about $500.
Okay.
Then it's about $250 an
not
hour.
Bad.
Yeah.
That ain't bad at all, yo.
Yeah. Oh, now, what would you charge for like a local, person? You know what I'm saying? Just a little party around the yard for like 6 hours.
For 6 hours?
Just like around the yard, though. You know what I'm saying? A couple miles away.
If I'm gonna be out there for 6 hours, I gotta probably around like $350, $400.
That's not bad at all, actually. Yeah, man, that's pretty good stuff, man.
Mm-hmm.
What's your game plan though with life? Are you gonna take this further? Like, what's going on?
Well, when I go into the military, of course, I'm gonna have to put a pause on it. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna still bring my speakers and my equipment and stuff. Because while I'm in the military, because on base they have Christmas parties and birthday party. They have stuff like that on base, so they need DJs for that type of stuff. And that's where I can come in and make a little extra cash. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, with DJing, are you gonna DJ like around the world? Because you're going into the Air Force, correct? So you're gonna be traveling around the world potentially.
That would be ideal.
Oh man.
Get your name international.
Exactly.
Like imagine that.
Like what my plan is, if they were to send me somewhere like let's say Japan or Germany or something, I'd go to the nearest like nightclub or skating rink, anything, and I'd put myself out there.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, first I'd learn their music, and then I'd start put myself out there.
Gotta educate yourself first.
Yeah.
Now, do you do that with certain areas? Like, if you know you're going to DJ in a certain area with a certain group of people or with a certain minority or whatever, would you, like, look up the music that they're going to listen to?
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to go to an area where there's a lot of country people, would you look into, like, country or rock and roll?
I look up the most popular, country songs and some hidden gems as well. Because there's some songs that a lot of people don't know about, but, that are still good. But, yeah, I do my research.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, back to the military thing. What inspired you to go into the military?
I would say my grandfather a lot, because he went into the military back then, he's probably like 17, because, this is back in like the 60s, 50s, something like that. But, yeah, he inspired me to do it, and he lived a great life. He did whatever he felt like doing when he felt like doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he got a check for the rest of, his life that he had. You know what I mean? So, and he really enjoyed the military. Like, he would tell me stories about, and my uncle as well, he's in the military, but they would both tell me stories about how they've been out of the country and met all these different people and seen different places, and that's just what I want to do.
Yeah.
And plus, Delaware is not really for me.
Yeah. Delaware, it's like everybody knows somebody, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, you can go to Walmart and see somebody, see him fucking in the car next day, I don't know. Some crazy shit. Like, especially when they start to get to really know some people. And, like, you find out some shit.
Every time I go in Walmart, I see like 2 to 3 people.
I work there, bro. What you think I see?
Yeah.
I understand what y'all are saying. When I go into Walmart, I do be like noticing people. Like, I see them there all the time. Same employees or the same people just going in there. It is kind of small in Delaware. Like, especially like in the towns. Like, if you're just walking around town, you're probably going to see someone you know eventually. Especially if you're like out all day. I see what you mean with that. But I just moved to Delaware, and I can't lie, it's pretty peaceful around here. It's pretty nice.
It's like, it's good to like raise people in, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it's a nice spot to grow up. But it's just, there's more. I feel like there's more out there that I want to see and more that I have not seen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I can't do that from Delaware.
100%.
So where are you trying to go?
I think like, the end goal is probably around Texas. I've been there a few times, and it seems like a place I'd like to stay, because the weather is beautiful, and there's also country area, but then there's the big city too. You know what I mean? The buildings, you walk around, walk for miles and stuff. You know what I mean? So yeah, probably there.
I was spending like Cali or something, Orlando. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean Cali just got a lot going on.
Yeah, same thing with Florida too, man.
Yeah,
like both places, like they got just like a lot of shit going on. Well, California, they got the earthquakes, their cities,
fires, and all that stuff.
Well, their cities are just like all around, like just like the cities all around the United States, filled with crime and drugs and shit. But I mean, like, where I'm trying to move to? Like, if I were to go out to the West Coast, it would probably be like Oregon, Washington, or Northern California in the mountains, probably. But I'm preferring to stay on the East Coast because I want to be able to still go to Philly, still come here.
Yeah.
I'd like to move probably like to West Virginia or Virginia, out in the mountains, more country-like area. You know what I'm saying?
Off to yourself.
Yeah, I feel like that's my end goal. But before that, I'm trying to travel the world.
Yeah.
100%.
Most definitely. Gotta go see places, man.
For real.
My goal is to like visit every continent except Antarctica. I'm not trying to go that cold.
Antarctica, I can't do that.
Fuck
We're not made for that.
Yeah, too black for that.
We're made for that.
I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go see some penguins or some shit. You know what I'm saying?
You gonna fuck around a vessel with a polar bear, yo.
At the North Pole, where a polar bear's at.
Damn, it's still cold.
Yeah, you're right.
Cold as hell.
But overall, though, would you travel the world? Like, besides the Air Force, like, cut the Air Force out. If you just had the money, are you just traveling the world in general?
Hell yeah. If I had the money, if I had the funds, hell yeah.
That's just I feel like that's a non-negotiable. If you don't want to travel the world, you're just not fun.
Yeah.
You're not a person I want to be around if you don't want to, like, go to Tokyo or fucking visit the Great Barrier Reef.
Hold on, my guys. One quick second. Back to where we were. What were we talking about?
Traveling the world.
Traveling. Yes, sir. Love to do it. I have to do it.
Another one of my goals for traveling, like, I want to visit all 7 wonders or 8 wonders, however many wonders there is.
The world, something like that.
I'm trying to see the pyramids, yo. For real.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if they allow people to go inside anymore.
They
Very
don't
strict
yeah.
tours.
Yeah, they're very strict.
Yeah.
You know why? Because we all know them shits. We all know them shits wasn't built by some fucking people. Them shits was built by some either advanced civilization or some aliens.
Yeah, and there's like if you look at some of the stones that they made back then, there are like patterns that can only come from a power tool. I saw it online. Now, I don't know how, liable it is, but there was like little gratings in the stones that only come from like a power saw.
Well, I done the research. I did the research, and apparently, this is what they did to cut the granite blocks the way they did, and drill the holes the way they did. I don't believe it. I'm gonna just get it out the way. I don't believe it. But they would get copper, right? And as they were welding copper, they would get quartz crystal, and they would mix it in with the copper. And at the time, they couldn't smelt iron, or they think they couldn't smelt iron. So this would make the copper stronger, more comparable to iron in strength. And this is apparently how they would drill through the granite and cut through it. But even then, on the hardness scale, that's not as hard as granite and wouldn't be able to cut it. But that's the theory they go with when it comes to cutting the granite. And apparently it's like the going theory. They believe it. But the one thing that they can't prove, that no one can prove, is how they got them 70-ton blocks up in the air and placed them the way they did. That the internal ramp theory is the best theory, but even then it has flaws. I've done the research. I did an engineering project earlier this year on pyramids. Did a shit ton of research on it. The internal ramp theory is a theory that suggests that instead of having big ramps on the outside, they have a ramp on the inside. So as they build the blocks, they build a ramp on the inside. And they basically bring the blocks in from the inside and place them from the inside out. And that's how they have like the big 70-ton ones on the inside holding up the blocks on the outside, pretty much. But that's the internal ramp theory, and that's what they're going with now. But even then, it can be disproven, and we really don't know how they got them big blocks up there. But that is a total. I just went on a ramble with that because I'm deep into that theory.
You can see the set.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they had hundreds of years to build them pyramids.
This ain't happened overnight.
No. Apparently, it only happened in like a 20-year span. Like a 10 to 20.
That is true, because these were built for pharaohs.
Yeah,
and stuff.
to die. And it's
yeah.
recorded that they built them within like a 20-year span. Like, they are more sophisticated, more complicated, and overall are I think almost like half of or a quarter of the weight of the Great Wall. Yet took like 20 years to make, whereas the Great Wall took like 1,000 years to make.
Yeah, a long ass time.
So it's like, it low key, in my opinion, might have been built by an advanced civilization or aliens. We don't know, but I don't think it was built by, copper aged people. You know what I'm saying? Like that age of people.
The Great Wall of China took 1,000 years to build.
What?
The Great Wall of China.
Yeah, it took 1,000 years. If you look into it, it started in BC and ended in AD.
It was made to keep the Mongols out or something, right?
Yeah.
Mongols.
Yeah.
I feel like at that point the conflict's over. He's still building a wall.
Yeah, 1,000 years is
But it was also used as a trading road, as a road for trade, because the terrain was very rough. Mm-hmm. So if they had a way to get literally over the terrain, it would make trade a lot easier.
Yeah.
Like travel too. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it served multiple purposes, not just a wall.
So back to the pyramids. Do you believe in aliens?
Low-key, I do. Yeah.
I think there's no other answer for that. You just gotta believe. I mean, the universe is way too big for there not to be aliens.
Exactly. You think we're the only?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Race out there.
Yeah. There has to be something else. And it's got all these other planets and universes and stuff.
Yeah.
Come on, galaxies.
Even if it's just microbial life, small life, that's still alien life.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, it's just the scale of the universe is fucking astronomical, yo.
It is astronomical.
We got our solar system, then we got our clusters, then we got super clusters, then we got galaxies. Yeah. Outside of that, fucking multi-galaxies. It's just the scales keep going up, man.
Yeah.
Now, have you ever thought of the difference in size between now I'm this is a small difference between a single-celled organism like a bacteria or a virus, something that we can barely see with the naked eye, only with a microscope, like a sperm cell or something, and then compare that to a blue whale, which is literally just a bunch of those cells all made up into one organism. the largest organism ever. Now think about that, but on an even bigger level, on an atomic level. Atoms that literally make up everything, quarks and atoms that make up everything, are so small that it's like that we can't see them physically. They're just basically theory, but it's kind of proven with math and chemistry. And
atoms we can see, like through electromagnetic fucking some shit.
Electromagnetic like
pulses or something. They scan it and just like you can see like the sharpest needle is only an atom wide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn, I didn't know that.
Crazy shit.
But and then compare that to a black hole or the largest stars in the solar system. That is an incredible scale. Think about how amazing that is in our reality. Like that's like incomprehensible. Really.
For sure.
It is actually incomprehensible. Like we can't comprehend the difference in size that really is.
I saw a theory online that said that black holes. Some people out there think that black holes are like wormholes.
Yeah.
Take you to another part in time, but you'd never know because as soon as you go through a black hole, you're being stretched out.
Yeah, like
it's not even that.
Yeah.
The radiation will kill you before you even get close to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
There's no way of us knowing.
Yeah, I think these black holes are as hot as the fucking sun.
Yeah.
Hotter.
Yeah.
And the radiation leak off, you're just gonna like.
You think they're wormholes?
I mean, it's definitely a possibility because singularity. You know what I mean? All that mass can't go nowhere. You know what I mean? It can't be destroyed. At least if the laws are, or at least if our understanding of the laws of the universe are true, it can't be destroyed. So it either has to like insanely compacted or it goes somewhere else, and maybe that's like a white hole, the opposite side. Because if the theory of black holes is proven, then that also can prove the theory of white holes. It's just the opposite side.
Well, with the math, they're saying that white holes aren't proven, and that most scientists are saying they're like not like they're kind of phony. But what I believe is that a black hole, over time, I don't know how much time, I don't know what'll happen, but could potentially, and I've discussed this theory with you, Marcus, could potentially punch a hole back through gravity. Because what a black hole is a star that has gotten so massive, it has so much mass, and it's stopped fusion. It's stopped fusing the atoms. So like what a star does to, like, I guess start with, it fuses two atoms together to make a new element. So it can fuse hydrogen. I think it fuses hydrogen atoms together to make helium. I believe.
Yeah, that's right.
And then, it goes up all the way to iron. But once it gets to iron, it can't fuse anymore. And all that mass collapses in on itself.
Because iron is the most stable element in the universe.
I did not know that, but wow.
Yeah.
So it collapses in on itself, and it gets smaller. But it still has all that weight, but now it's smaller. So, like, imagine, like, this glass, but it's 400 pounds. But it's still this glass. And then it keeps getting so small that gravity itself can't support the weight.
It, and it just...
It rips a hole in like
in time and shit. Yeah.
Exactly. Now imagine it keeps going, rips another hole in the fabric of reality, creates a white hole for a brief moment in time, and then the white hole and black hole fizzle out and then turn into a wormhole, and the wormhole is different than a black hole. Like it looks different. Like it's not as observable because it's met both ends. It's not,
so like,
you know what I mean? It's not just
black
one
hole
thing.
Implode. You're suggesting like a black hole almost implodes on itself.
Yeah.
Like kind of, and then once it meets that other end, I guess that other end of like space time or whatever, it then becomes the wormhole. Like, you know what I'm saying? It kind of like meets up, like on two sides of reality or whatever. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know how a wormhole looks. A black hole, it's not black. It's just invisible.
You ever see Interstellar? Well, in Interstellar, they talk about how what a wormhole would look like. I forget how they describe it, but it's a good way of describing it. I can't say it right now.
Oh, you're talking about when they fold the piece of paper and they suck it?
Yeah, and they talk about how it would look circular on a piece of paper, but in reality it would be 3D and it would just reflect whatever's inside of it, like whatever universe it would go to.
That's what I'm saying. It'd almost be like invisible because it'd just be the stars to another place. You know what I mean? You wouldn't really notice the difference. So, like with black holes, the only reason we can tell they're there is because it distorts the light around it. You know what I mean? That's the only reason we know. Other than that, they're just like invisible. They're not black. They're just absence of light.
Yeah,
that's all they are.
Yeah, you gotta watch it.
You gotta watch that,
dude. It's fucking.
It's based in real science, but like obviously
it gets a little
movie.
Phony eventually. But it's a cool theory and all. Now I guess to get back to you, our guest on the podcast.
Sir.
Do you have any mentors that you look up to? You mentioned your grandfather earlier.
Yeah, he was one of them. I tried to. He lived very I can't think of words to describe, how much of a great man he was. Everywhere he went, it just seemed like everybody loved the man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I could ask anybody about him. Nobody would have a bone to pick with him about anything. He was loved everywhere he went, and he was a very great guy though. You could talk to him. He was really loving. I could ask him about anything in the world, and he wouldn't have a problem talking to me about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he was a great mentor for most of my life, and so was my dad and my parents. Can't take away from them now. They molded me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What did you pull these M&Ms out of, by the way? You brought them with you?
Mm-hmm.
I actually realized that my fault. You've been stacking on this the whole time about it. It's my fault. Not to get sidetracked.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, I thought I'd bring a snack.
Tight.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I just realized? What hasn't been on this whole time? The chill sign.
Yeah, I was looking at that.
God damn it.
There you go.
Nice.
I'm ready. Almost halfway
I'm
in.
chilling. There we go. But do you have any online mentors, like any
Yeah,
YouTubers?
like you mentioned
people
you
look at?
talk to these DJs and stuff online.
I
Or
wouldn't,
do you like look them as more as a peer?
yeah, something like that. I wouldn't look up to them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's somebody who I could get information from if I needed it.
Yeah.
But usually I figure things out myself.
Yeah.
I try to.
You seem like an intelligent guy.
Yeah, I try.
That's cool. That's cool. I know you're working on your bug, so you got any like ongoing projects with that? You know what I'm saying?
The bug, as of right now, she's pretty good, man.
I'm not going like V8 swapping.
Turn into a
Explain,
fucking bottle rocket.
dude. Explain to the podcast what the bug is, what you got there, what your grandfather left for you.
So my grandfather left me a 1962 VW dune buggy.
That's
And
fire.
What a dune buggy is, so they took the original Beetle from the 70s, they pulled the metal body off, and they cut the body 12 to 14 inches shorter, and then they stuck a fiberglass body on top of it. And that's all it is. It's just just something cool that you can take through the dunes.
Yeah.
You take it on the beach and stuff, but
Yeah.
it's street legal as well.
I like them lights you put on. They're nice.
Yeah.
You put on some nice red lights on it, red headlights.
Red little
man.
halos.
Yeah, they all look nice, man. Other than that, though, you got any other projects going on with the Camaro or what's going on?
In the future with the Camaro, I want to engine swap it. I want to put a what was it, a LT4? Either that or like a newer LT1.
Gotcha.
One from this century.
Yeah.
Because that engine is 30 years old.
What kind of Camaro you got?
It's a Z28, so 94.
That's nice.
It's outside right now, man. You're gonna have to check it out later on, dude.
Yeah,
For real.
I can hear it. Yeah, but I want to manual swap it and then eventually put a new engine in it.
Nice.
That's fire,
Give
bro.
it some more horsepower.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Now with mechanical stuff and all that, do you know a lot about engines and fixing cars and that type of deal?
I wouldn't say I know, everything, but I know like simple things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if it's something that I don't know, then I usually hit Google or I ask my dad or something.
Yeah.
But with a lot of it, I try to do it myself. You know what I mean? Because in the future, I want to work on my own cars.
Yeah.
I'd rather do it myself than to take it to a shop.
Yeah.
I'd rather mess it up myself than pay somebody to do it.
And have a possibility of them fucking up, and
Exactly.
now you got paid for it.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I am. I'm dealing with some car trouble right now. I'm trying to figure it out myself. Well, I know the problem. I just gotta like swap it. It's an O2 sensor. Something easy though. It's like
Yeah, you can figure that out. It's no problem. It's just a
it's
sensor.
literally just plug and play pretty much.
Yeah.
That's what I love about like cars and stuff and like computers. Like, I can build my own. I build my own computer. Really, just simple shit. But I'm learning cars now. It's just fun to me. You know what I mean? It's like almost like building Legos, I guess.
Yeah, it's like a big puzzle in a way. You know what I'm saying?
And every little thing connects.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Everything,
It all matters.
Yeah.
I love how it's like so intuitive too. Like it just makes sense. It's beautiful.
But with that, where did you learn all this? Like, how was your childhood? Like, did your mom and dad instill like a learning drive in you? Did they discipline you? Like, did you learn all this when you were younger? Like, what's up with that?
Well, I'd say my parents did very well disciplining me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, not that I did anything to be disciplined.
Yeah.
But they raised me well. You know what I mean?
Told you like right from wrong.
Right from wrong, yeah. And as far as, working on cars and stuff, because my dad, he's had some nice old school cars in the past that we've, got to pop the hood and do some work too. So
hold the flashlight.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So a lot of that is where that's where I learned a lot of stuff that I know now.
Yeah.
And you continue working with him on the Camaro and stuff.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you think that's a skill most people should have nowadays, men and women? Just that mechanical intuitiveness, like just knowing what to do when it comes to fixing engines or putting stuff together like that with your hands. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
it's like an entry level awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now it's good to know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But like to know how to do it yourself, I don't think everybody needs to know that, because then that puts people out of business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like like mechanics and shops and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's what they're open for, so they can tell you what's wrong with your car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And somebody's got to do it. We don't want to put them out of business. You know?
Yeah. Now, what about the basics, like changing a tire, oil?
I don't feel like everybody
like
should
that.
know.
Yeah, stuff like that is pretty simple.
Yeah.
Like if you have a car and you don't know simple stuff like that,
Maintenance, I'd call that. Yeah.
Yeah, like simple maintenance.
Yeah, simple maintenance.
Changing a tire, you might need to go somewhere because you need some tools for that. Not everybody got that.
Yeah.
You need a jack, and you need,
Well, if you got like a garage, I mean, most of the time you got some stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like if you're like a classic dad,
Mm-hmm.
you got like a jack or something.
Or does that say like for tire changes, because they can be like a pain in the ass sometimes.
Yeah, they can
like
be.
getting the rubber off. It's some bullshit sometimes, man. Trust.
Now, as a DJ, do you encounter a lot of like drugs or alcohol at your parties or your gigs?
Well, yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I smell weed, and people drink and all that other stuff. I don't smoke though, but I mean it's just that's what people do.
Yeah.
And if you gotta do that to have a good time, hey, more power to you, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, do you think drinking and smoking is a negative thing, or do you think it's a positive thing when it comes to a party and stuff like that? Or do you think it's neutral? Like, do you think it's like needs to be there, doesn't need to be there, or it's just like whatever?
Well, smoking, I'm totally against that.
You're against it, really?
I mean, as far as me, I don't do that. You know what I mean? I don't see the need to do it. Now, some people, everybody's different. Some people, it helps them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some people, it helps them function better, and it, helps them spiritually, or, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But as far as me, I have fun sober.
Yeah.
I don't need to drink and do all that stuff. Now, drinking, I don't have no problem with drinking now.
Yeah.
I had me a little,
Yeah, some.
Yeah, we had a party, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shit.
Now, what with the marijuana? So, compared to drinking, do you think it's safer, or do you think it's just as bad? Like, do you think that they're like on the same level of danger, or do you think weed is worse and that's why you don't do it? Like, I'm curious to know your thought process on why you drink but not smoke.
Well, I like my lungs. All that coughing and stuff, man. I don't want to. Why would I put myself through that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What about your liver when it comes to drinking?
Now, drinking, if you do too much of anything is never good for you.
Yeah, you're right about that.
But if you do too much drinking, then that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But as far as what's more dangerous and I really don't know, because I don't know much of the long effects of smoking marijuana.
Yeah.
But both of them age you horribly. Neither one of them is good to do.
Like, especially on a daily basis.
Yeah, hell no.
Like,
every now and then, you
I
have fun.
I wouldn't recommend smoking marijuana on a daily basis. I mean, would I say it's like harmful to the level it might kill you? No. But I don't think it's recommended. Now, am I gonna call the kettle black? I am calling the kettle black because at this moment in time, I am smoking marijuana daily. But I feel like if you're old enough and you can smoke and be responsible and it doesn't affect your life, I don't think it's necessarily a negative thing.
I think it's just about like accepting the consequences. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
exactly.
At the end of the day, no one's gonna stop you from doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as you accept the outcome or possible outcomes, what that may be,
yeah,
I think you're just chilling. You know what you're getting into. You know what's gonna happen. You gotta do what you gotta do. You know what I mean?
As far as like daily basis though, drinking would be
I feel like worse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
a lot worse.
Because I feel like when you become an alcoholic, I feel like it's because I've gone to AA meetings to help with my smoking problem because I have a very addictive behavior. That's like why when I stop smoking, I don't smoke. You know, like there is no like smoke once a week type of deal. No, it's like either I'm smoking every day for a couple months or I don't. Exactly. So right now I'm smoking obviously, but when I don't smoke, I'll go to meetings to like help me with it. And I've noticed that once you start drinking every day and you go over that level, it's a different level compared to smoking every day.
Right.
It's like alcohol is like comparable into like once you're doing it every day and you have like that addictive behavior with it, it's like cocaine, it's like meth, you know, it becomes like that level of danger because you're drinking every day, you're drinking and driving. It's like every day's a party almost.
Yeah.
You know, whereas I notice with weed, it's kind of a little more laid back. People can smoke and handle their responsibilities sometimes.
Kind of like function.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas alcohol, it's a little bit harder. And even then, though, my aunt's dad, so technically my great uncle, he died because of the wine he was drinking had a lot of iron and copper in it. So it wasn't the alcohol per se, but it was what was in the wine gave him blood cancer. And he died from drinking wine every single day throughout his whole life because he was Italian. He was from Italy. Moved here in the 30s. Yeah, so like from doing that every day, like he actually died. So it's not only the alcohol, but it's what's in it. Like beer, like all the calories, it all turns to sugar. If you're drinking beer after beer and you're eating unhealthy food with that every day, you could end up with diabetes. You know what I'm saying? You could fuck yourself up. But same thing with smoking. If you're smoking weed every day, cigarettes every day, you could clog your heart up, end up with a heart attack, and you're done. So like I feel like it's all in moderation and not doing it every day. You know, staying away, like you know what I'm saying. You know, just doing it on a monthly or yearly kind of basis. You know what I'm saying? Just when you're partying, like you when you're
you go out to a party and you know you want to smoke something or hey.
Yeah, that's how I kind of view it because I've done both. You know, I've done a little bit of both, but I don't have an addictive personality. I would say, you know what I mean. I do it in the moment. It's just that I leave it there. You know what I mean.
Leave it in the moment.
So I just do it to like just raise the mood a little bit. I don't need it. I think that's my base thing. Like I can have fun with it, with or without it. It don't matter to me. It's just if I'm feeling that night, I'll dab a little bit. You know what I mean. I never take it too far. I make sure I'm still conscious, you know what I mean? And I can just have a good time. I'm not blacking out, dreaming out, none of that shit.
That's
I weaned out once. And that was, because it was a 500 milligram edible. Never again. Never again, bro.
Wasn't it at work when you eat it and you was like tripping balls?
Because it was like towards the end of the shift and I was planning to go home. Because at the time I didn't have a car, so I was getting a ride home. And that shit hit way too soon. And that was my lesson. Never again.
Do it again.
Nope, never.
But you know, with certain things, like I remember tripping on shrooms, dude, having crazy trips. You know, for some reason I did it again. I learned some things, but I feel like I was too young to fully integrate those lessons I've learned, like while tripping on like psychedelics. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know that kind of came out of left field, but it kind of does have to do with drugs because we're kind of growing up. We're going into that more college atmosphere where harder drugs are going to become more relevant. Me personally, I would never snort anything. I'm cool on that. You know, I haven't drank in like 2 years. This is my first time drinking. Coming to your party coming up. I'm planning on it. I'm planning to drink safely. Not, you know, I'm planning on not getting super wrecked. You know, just kind of chilling out. You know, just having a couple drinks, feeling like a little nice buzz. But yeah, what's your opinion, I guess, on psychedelics? That's kind of what I want to get to there.
Psychedelics.
Yeah,
that's a the ball field. I know nothing about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know what they do, but I don't know as far as because I know a lot of people take them like spiritual, you know, spiritual wise, and there's people out there that just take them just to get tore up. Yeah, but I mean, it just all depends on the person. Like if you're really into like spirituality and you think it's going to help, going to improve you in some way, then take it, you know, as long as you're doing it safely and, you know what I mean, responsibly. And you're not overdoing it or anything. I don't see a problem with it.
Would you ever do a psychedelic? Like if you were like say guided, like if you had like a therapist or a guide there, like a shaman who like knows what he's doing, kind of there to guide you through the experience, a little bit more of a safer, like kind of professional,
enough for a spiritual aspect, like.
Well, not even a spirit, like, cause like right now they're coming out with these so say if you have like OCD or ADHD or depressive disorder, like depression or anxiety. In Oregon, they're coming out with these people, and they're like trained psychiatrists or psychologists, and they basically walk you through your trip. So they can like help you kind of sort out your problems as you're tripping. You'll go for like 1, 2, 3 trips over the course of like a couple months, and they'll help you like integrate your experience and all
So they're
that.
using like psychedelics as more of a
Therapy.
mental healing.
Therapeutic.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
Now, would you do like something like that? I'm like me personally. I'm going down to South America to do the more spiritual type deal, but like I'm going for like the same reasons that like kind of sort out my mental stuff. But in an aspect where there's people there to guide you through the experience, do you think you would do it?
Nah, I couldn't see myself doing that. No, sir. It's just not, not the type of thing I'm into.
Not on the radar.
No.
Gotcha.
That is interesting though that you do that.
Yeah. I'm definitely trying some ayahuasca down in South America and fucking seeing some crazy shit. Fuck it. And I also want to like, part of it is I want to see some crazy shit, but I also want to like sort out some mental stuff I got going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some childhood trauma type stuff. But back to you.
With some crazy tangents.
Yeah, right. Going on some crazy tangents. But with DJing and with the military, how is it growing up? You know what I'm saying? Growing up and becoming a man. What's that like?
Well, I mean, a lot of people say it's scary. I don't see it as scary. I see it as like empowering. You know what I mean? It's exciting.
Sure.
In a few months I'm gonna have my military uniform on, be somewhere across the world, who knows? But I'm gonna be doing my own thing. I'm gonna be doing something that I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
And that's good that you have that mentality, because like growing up, obviously, me personally, I was scared of that shit. You know what I mean? Becoming an adult, having these responsibilities, but as I'm getting older, as I'm growing into these responsibilities, it's just becoming fun. Like I can manage my own shit now. I can
do what you want to do.
I can go out when I want. Do what I want to do, and it's just funny. It's not funny. It's just fun because like, especially with money, like being able to manage my own money. Get my bread up. It's just it's a blast. I don't know how to explain it. It's just amazing.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that as a young man. 13, 14, 15, even 16 years old, I was scared growing up. I was like, you know what I'm saying?
Do it,
it's like, damn, dude, I have to be a man now. Like, my parents are going to pass away. I have to be the man of the house. I have to earn money. It's kind of scary at first. It's like, holy shit. But then it kind of becomes fun, like, once you start realizing, like, hey, I got the whip now. I take myself to
do whatever
the gym.
I want to do.
I can do what I want today. You know what I'm saying? I run the job. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it becomes exciting. It becomes fun. Not gonna lie though, I'm still a little scared. Sometimes it'd be scary. You know what I'm saying? Growing up, sometimes it can be stressful.
When you get in that moment though, and you like, damn, I'm doing this shit, and you realize that you can do it. I feel like that's the biggest thing. You realize that you can do something.
Yeah, have the confidence.
Yeah. That first step's always the hardest, but after that, man, it's just a fucking brisk ass walk. I don't know.
Yeah, for real. A brisk walk is a great way to put it, because life can be like a run. It can be like a jog. Most of the time, it's like a brisk walk, though.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be like a nice, relaxing walk, but most of the time it's a little bit faster paced. You know what I'm saying? But then again, life can speed up and shit can start going down.
Ain't that the fucking truth?
You know what I'm saying? Sprinting through life. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like it's going by too fast for me.
It has been going by quicker recently. Very quickly. There's a theory. Terrence McKenna, guy who tripped on a lot of psychedelics. He was a botanist, so he went to college, studied plants, did a lot of psychedelics. He studied a little bit of physics here and there, I think. I could be totally wrong about the physics part, but I know he did study plants and psychedelics. But he came up with a theory that, and I told Marcus this, it's called the novelty theory, that time is actually speeding up. Like, you know how you get older, it feels like time speeds up? Well, in all reality, since the beginning of time till now, it's actually speeding up, and eventually time and life itself is going to like fold in on itself and kind of restart in a way, I think, is like the basis of his theory. But yeah, man, because time for some reason has been feeling like it's going by quickly. It just feels like it's been going by.
Yeah, like a week could go by in a blink. I think of this week.
Yeah.
I feel like this week just started.
I feel like that theory is more of a overall scheme, like outside of our lifetimes, but like I feel like just time speeding up as you get older is a
natural thing.
natural thing, but like everybody has that experience. Like everybody I know just feels that way, and I feel like it's because as we get older, my friend, I don't know if it was you or someone else that explained it to me like this, but like when you're 3, 1 year is a third of your life, right?
Oh,
but
right.
as you get older, you know what I mean. I'm almost 20. 1 year is a 20th of my life, you know what I mean, and it keeps getting older and older. Like when you're 50, 1 year is a 50th of your life. So I feel like it gets fat. It feels faster because of that. You know what I mean? You've lived so much time, and it just feels like a smaller portion of your life each day. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Which I feel like that's a great way of like just how it feels. You know what I mean? As you get older, each day just feels like it's come shorter because you just live so much further.
Yeah, like you've gone further on in life.
Mm-hmm.
That is kind of a good way of putting it. Like, I don't think I said that to you. It's probably Josh or someone like that, but that shit was deep.
Yeah.
And that shit makes sense, too, because remember when, like, a summer was, like, long as hell? Like, when you would come home, like, from 2nd grade, and it was like, oh, it's summertime. Like, it's about to be a whole year. Exactly. Like, whole year of fun.
104 days.
Yeah, and then school was like, oh, no. It's like, oh no, another eternity of this shit. But then by like 10th or 11th grade, you're sitting there wishing, like, damn, I'm about to graduate from high school. You know,
to last longer.
Yeah. But most people don't realize this. But like, I feel like most teenagers, once they enter 9th grade, they're like, 4 more years, then I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? That realization, I feel like, doesn't really hit most people until they're like about to be grown. Until they're like 17, 18.
Our age.
Yeah. But I feel like when you have to grow up or you're raised to be mature. Like in me and Marcus's case, from our lives, I think we had to grow up. Like we had to mature.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in your case, you grew up with people that were mature, and they made you into a mature man.
Mm-hmm.
You had these realizations earlier, but yeah, becoming a man, it's no joke, man. Or becoming a grown adult in society, man or woman, no joke at all.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking A, man. Are you ready for it? Are you ready for life, Rory? You ready to start this journey, man?
Of course.
Think about that. DJ Roar in the military, traveling the world and shit. Like, I think about myself like that sometimes. Like, I got the podcast and shit. Marcus, you're working every day, man, supporting your family. Like,
so you got something going.
Exactly.
You know, you got to keep something going.
Yeah.
Because
for sure.
I feel like if you're, doing what we do, we're steady going compared to somebody who just is in the house all day, doing nothing. It's like you're just on hold. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? From achieving your greatest potential.
It's crazy. Like now that you say that, like I don't know about y'all, but like even when I have an off day and I'm doing nothing, now obviously we need rest days and stuff. You know, you can't be doing something all the time. And even when that happens, I'm like, damn, what the fuck am I doing? Yeah. I'm out here sitting in my bed and just.
I'm sitting here laying in bed doing nothing.
Yeah, like I could be out. I gotta at least be outside playing around. You know what I mean? Like. Mm-hmm. But it's just it's a weird feeling. I guess because we crave a routine every day. You know what I mean? Our minds do.
I wonder how people feel who have no routine.
Like they wake up and just at any time of the day.
I'm going back to sleep.
That shit look
sleep for another 4 hours.
Because I have a couple of friends like that do that, and it's just like it's so hard to hang out with them because like they're doing nothing, and that means they don't want to do nothing. It's
they don't want to do anything. Oh, well, I have a movie to watch.
Today's not a good day to hang out for me.
I actually have a friend, that girl, hung out with this girl last night. Great person, cool as hell. But she doesn't do much. And she told me last night when we were hanging out, she was like, yo, I feel good getting out finally and doing something. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of these people, sometimes they get stuck in a rut where they just like, they don't have the friends or the capability of going out every day, and they get stuck in that depressive rut. Especially when you're smoking weed, because I found that when I started smoking weed daily again, it took my discipline right away. And that weed, or even nicotine, even like a cigarette, or a beer, it can be something to do. You know what I'm saying? You could use that as something to do, when in all reality you're not doing anything.
You're not doing anything.
You're just sitting there watching TV, smoking a joint or a cigarette. You're not doing it. It's just a quick gratification with no trouble. And for the first 2 months of me smoking daily, I wasn't doing shit. I was lazy as fuck. It fucked me all up. And now I'm finally starting to get a little bit back on track.
You quit on your jogs and stuff?
No, I still kept my daily shit up, but like recording the videos became hard. Recording the videos is still hard because my phone isn't always charged, because I forget to plug my phone in before I go to sleep at night because I'm fucking stoned. So like it affects so like when someone's even using on top of that, using drugs or something, it even makes it worse, and it can get them even more stuck in that rut. So there's there's these outside influences, whether it's they don't have the capability to get somewhere or they're doing something that affect them, and that can create this person who doesn't go out or doesn't do much with their life, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, there is no excuse, and it is up to them. If you are a grown adult, it's up to you. It's your life.
Yeah.
You can change it. If you want to change something in your life, it's up to you.
It really only takes one step too. At least from what I experienced, it's a snowball effect.
Yeah.
You get to know one person, you get to know 3 more. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, you meet their friends, you become their friends.
Exactly.
It just snowballs. Like, that's what I like. After COVID fucked me up a lot. Like,
Yeah.
I became almost a shut-in at that point.
Yeah.
When we got back into school, started meeting people again. Now, like, getting back to like more of an extroverted mindset. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to go out, want to hang out with these people.
Yeah.
Like just the other day, fucking went to see the Minecraft movie with like 15 people. Just cause why the fuck not?
Yeah. Right.
And I feel like COVID really set our generation back.
It did,
Mhm.
man.
Because, like,
100%.
we can't even socialize anymore.
Yeah. Right.
Like, I was... So, yesterday... No, day before. One of them days. Some shit. Yesterday. I went to a DEP call, which is a delayed entry program meeting for the military.
Mhm.
And it was me and 2 other girls. And we were all sitting in the car, you know, riding around the base and stuff. And our recruiter was talking. Me and the recruiter were having a great conversation, but the girls were just
sitting there
silent. It's like we can't even socialize anymore normally.
Yeah.
And I feel like if COVID hadn't happened, I feel like things would have been a lot different.
No, 100%.
A lot different.
At least when COVID happened for me, I was in like it was my transition from 8th to 9th grade, and that's a big jump. You know, when you get into high school for the first time. So skipping out on that first year, in my opinion, I just like fucked a lot of shit up. Because I also moved schools after that, and it was all a mess. But we made it through. Cause I wanted to be social.
Well, our whole generation, I believe, is from, I don't know the exact years, but I believe we're in Gen Z. We're Gen Z, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, so I think the oldest people in our generation who were affected by COVID, I believe, were, like, born in, like, 2001, 2002. And, like, the youngest were born in, like, 2011, 2012. So, like, they're, like, 7th, 8th graders now. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it affected our generation, how we, like you said, socialize, how we interact with other people around us. And for me especially, like, it feels like it's made people awkward.
Yes.
Like, it's made situations awkward. Like, for some reason, like, sitting in silence with your friends is
It's
awkward.
now.
Yeah, like,
I'd be like scrolling or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
if you're not doing this, you know, if you're not doing that, then it's just awkwardness.
Yeah.
Like you can't even talk to people anymore. And even I feel like it's the same thing with females nowadays, man.
Yeah.
You can't even walk up to a girl no more.
Yeah.
Like, they're, like, so kind of closed off. Not even women, but people in general. Like, when you try to go to, like, not everyone, obviously, but, like, I find when you talk to someone in the hallway in school, because I've done this before. Some people I just don't even know. I just go up to having a conversation. Even guys, even teachers, grown people, their first initial, like, that aren't even in our generation, their first initial reaction is sometimes, I'd say about 65% of the time is, like, they're like caught off guard. Like, why is this?
Who are you talking to?
Like, why is this random dude talking to me? Not even in a rude way. It's like a legitimate, like, surprise. Like, why is this random guy talking to me right now? And, like, you know, for, like, the first minute, it's like that. And then they're like, oh, this guy's just trying to talk and have a convo. What's up, man? They kind of, like, come out of their shell. But for, like, that first minute or two, it's, like, awkward. It's like, what the fuck's going on here?
And people that do that are just seen as different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if, you know, walking up talking to somebody, you can go in Walmart.
Yeah.
Walk up and talk to somebody. And that's not normalized.
Well, I feel like it's the vibe, too. Like, everyone who's in the average public school, everyone who's in the Walmart, the Giant, they're all on the same level of 9 to 5, rat race, here, there, scrolling on the phone, instant gratification, fast food. They're all in that, like, they gotta go, they gotta get to the next thing. And then when you interrupt that, they're like, yo, what's going on here? And it's even worse. Like, I noticed in Philadelphia, it's even worse. Like, when you come here and you're in the city of Milford, it's about half the speed of, like, Philly. Yeah. But then when you're in, like, Georgetown, that's, like, half the speed of Milford. You know what I'm saying? It's, like, slower. Like, the more you get into the country, the slower and more at ease people are. But, like, the more, like, city you get, and I feel like this is everywhere, but, like, the more city, like, you get, the more people are. Yeah, everyone's just, like, in that, like, rat race mindset where they're just going. You know what I'm saying?
You talked about on the scrolling, instant gratification.
Yeah.
Like, I know a lot of people didn't like when I said this, but TikTok. When TikTok was banned, I was
it's a good thing.
I wish it had stayed banned.
At the point, I wasn't even on TikTok like that.
Yeah.
You know,
it was like
one of my friends, like the second after TikTok got deleted, downloaded Red Note. That shit pissed me off. I'm
what
like,
is Red Note?
Some
like
other Chinese app.
Some other,
Like, that sounded racist. I didn't know how that. Another one of them all like just scrolling apps. You know what I mean? She downloaded it immediately. I'm like, bro, what we doing right now?
Yeah, like come on, man.
Like I wish it had stayed banned because everybody's used to communicating through these, and not through words.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Just wish people would just like sit in silence nowadays. It's
Yeah,
so nice.
too.
Just the company of other people, not even in a conversation setting, just chill.
Yeah. I feel like that's something we got to get more into. It's also with talking points. I feel like nowadays because we aren't like as socially adept, we come in conflict more. Like people don't know how to just accept someone else's opinion for what it is.
Yeah.
They have to fight
counteract that.
Yeah, they have to like
if you say something I don't like, you know, the instant thought
they have
is
to be right.
Say something back.
Exactly.
Actually, I'm correct because of this and that, you know.
Now, there's certain instances where there's fact, where there is just plain old fact.
Yeah.
You know, like where, like for instance, if someone had like they just like killing dogs. Dude, no, you can't just go around killing dogs. That's fucked up. There's something wrong there, buddy. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things that are just wrong, and if, in my opinion, if it's not harming someone, if it's not harming themselves or anything else around them, then you really don't have a right to tell them that their opinion is wrong, because at the end of the day, it's their opinion. And if they're not harming anyone or harming themselves, just let them be. You shouldn't really stress you shouldn't get into an argument or a fight over that. You know what I'm saying?
And you can always debate someone, but you just can't expect them to like come over to your side. You know
exactly,
what I mean?
To agree with you.
An argument should be like just trying to get your point across to the other person, make sure they understand it. And then you yourself try to understand their point. You know what I mean? Like come to a mutual understanding of each other. Yeah. And if you don't agree, well, you don't agree. You agree to disagree. You know what I mean? That's what civil arguments should be.
And nowadays it's very hard for that to happen. And I find myself arguing with my family more so than anything. I really don't get into arguments with people in public. I see people argue in public, but I don't really argue with anyone in public. I more so argue with my family. And I think that's because... I feel like when you care about someone and they have an opinion that they feel strongly about that you conflict, I feel like it's easier to...
It hurts more.
It hurts more. Yeah, it's like it's easier to kind of fall into that fighting. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's also like you're more comfortable with that person. Like,
exactly.
At the end of this, we're going to make up somehow.
We're going to be cool.
Yeah. I'm going to see you tomorrow type shit.
But you can't always think that because sometimes it can spiral and you can continuously argue. It can turn into like arguing every day. And it can really rot out the relationship with that person. Yeah, of course. So, I mean, that is true to a point, but you can't always think that. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're, like, I noticed I argue with my aunt, like, way too much. I live in her house. I argue with her way too much. I got to check myself sometimes, Yeah. And I find it's easier to argue and conflict with your family than it is in public.
To just I feel like it's easier to argue than to take the defeat.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Because you got to really let it go.
Yeah.
Pride, in my opinion, is the worst sin. It gets in the way of so much.
Yeah. And with that, people nowadays, they have that pride, they have that ego. They don't know how to interact with people in public, and they really be looking like assholes sometimes.
Yeah.
Like you ever see them, like the Karens? Like a perfect example was a Karen. Very prideful, full of ego. They think they're right. They're standing their ground. They want to argue. Yeah.
Even if they are right, they take it to a whole nother level.
Yeah, they take it up here.
Like they want to like prove that they're right.
No matter how right you are, you have to have a level of humility. You know what I mean? Like you can't just I'm right, you're wrong, and then just fucking expect something. You know what I mean? Yeah. You gotta be like, okay, maybe I'm overreacting a little bit. Let's tone it down. Yeah.
Another thing I think is getting like fuzzy, within our generation is truth.
Yeah.
Like truth and fact. I feel like that is turning more so into emotion.
Yeah.
Like for instance with the podcast, most of the time I say, in my opinion, or I feel, because I don't have a fact checker or nothing. But
exactly.
But most people in general, they're going off of how they feel rather than the fact. Yeah.
Like this is a very sensitive topic.
Fuck it.
A lot of people may disagree with me, but I feel like with the gender stuff going on, man, like a lot of people think that they can, just like I work with somebody, and I don't say no names or nothing, but I work with somebody, and this is clearly a dude, right? And you don't put on makeup, do you, man?
Yeah.
But you try to tell me that, oh, I'm a girl. You have to refer to me as such because I am a girl. That I am a female. It's like, come on. Like, when are we going to bring truth back into play? When are we going to bring logic back into things?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As far as, especially with stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because reality, there are two genders.
Yeah.
And they're not interchangeable.
Yeah.
That's just the way I feel. A lot of people disagree, but it's just, that's the truth.
That's the truth, though, and at the end of the day, yeah.
Well, I look at it, like, anybody can be anything, you know what I mean? They're free will, whatever, but you gotta at least acknowledge it. You can't be so disillusioned to the fact that you physically can be anything, because that's not true.
It's not
you
true.
You can't fucking attach a helicopter to your head and, like, fly off. That's not how that works.
Yeah.
But, you can have your pronouns or whatever. Just acknowledge the fact that people might not see you as that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't hate them for that. That's just how, you know what I mean? That's how people are.
Their opinion.
Yeah, exactly. You cannot hate someone for seeing you another way than what you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or what you think you are, whatever.
We were working, and this happened earlier today. She didn't say anything, but I could see the emotion on her face or their face,
whatever you want to say, yeah.
But she was like, oh yeah, because we were making shakes at McDonald's, and I was like, yeah, I made that shake already. She's like, oh, you made it already? I said, yes, sir. And I didn't say it
in like a joking way.
Yeah, I didn't say it as like, yes, sir. I said it like, yes, sir.
Yeah,
like I'll say that to a girl, yes, sir. And his face just kind of like, like frown.
See, I don't get like, I call everybody bro, man, dude.
Yeah,
like, it's just, to me, it's just, what's up, dude?
Yeah.
What's up, bro?
What's up, bro?
Well, I feel like certain people, they get sensitive about certain things, sensitive about how they're called. I remember I was in school, I had the same interaction with someone, and, I didn't care. I was just like, all right, I'll call you, she, whatever.
Whatever you want.
I don't care. And in my opinion, they can do whatever they want as long as they're not harming me or forcing their opinion on me or anyone that I'm related to or my friends. As long as they're not forcing, and that goes for anyone. As long as someone's not forcing their opinion or their ways on me, like trying to control me with what they think is right, I'm cool with you. As long as you're not harming someone, as long as you're not harming me or harming no one else, harming yourself, or not trying to control me or force your opinion on me, do you, cuz. You know what I'm saying? Just don't be forcing that shit on people or harming yourself or harming anyone else. You know what I'm saying?
It's all about like situational awareness, and like these people, for some reason, sometimes they think they're above that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's just, I think that's the real problem here.
I feel like with a lot of people in society who haven't been raised correctly. They haven't been raised with respect. Like, for instance, with me, situational awareness. I wasn't taught respect because I really didn't have, stable parents. And the other day I seen Deshaun Jackson in Legislative Hall, right?
Deshaun Jackson, yeah.
Right? And I walked up to him and I tapped him on the shoulder. And he was talking to someone. I said, hey, excuse me, I have a question. And I tapped him on the shoulder, and I thought I was cool. And he said, hey, give me 1 second. And he was like that. And he talked to, I think his mom or an older woman for about a minute. And he was like, yeah, what's up? And I'm like, hey, nice to meet you. I'm George Fowler. Are you Deshaun Jackson? He's like, yes, I am. I'm like, okay, my friends are wondering if it was you. It's you. They would like a picture. Is it cool to take a picture with you? And he's like, yeah, sure. And then he got up and walked out with everyone. And like, I think he took it and my friend said that they think that he took it as disrespect, and I kind of see that too. Like, my aunt and uncle were both like, yo, dude, that's not how you like, not only like a celebrity but people in general. You just don't tap on the shoulder when they're talking.
On the shoulder. Because you're kind of it's kind of forget what you're doing right now. Hey.
Yeah.
We're trying to understand that. Yeah. And and people don't understand. Celebrities don't owe us anything.
They don't.
They don't. You know what I mean? They're people just like the rest of us. Just because you see them on TV, it doesn't mean they owe us a photo or they owe us an autograph. You know what I mean?
Like, we're taking time out of their day to do that.
Exactly. And I saw something online, and it said being a celebrity nowadays is pretty much 2020. It's pretty much 24/7 customer service.
Yeah, because you're always serving your people.
Yeah.
You're always serving your customer base or whatnot. Yeah.
Always got to keep up like an image almost.
Yeah.
Of who they want you to be.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that. And some people do have the ideology of like celebrities think they're above, but I don't think they think they're above. I think they're busy. Like I think they like some people like he might have been at a meeting or something, and he don't have time to take pictures with a bunch of kids or something.
Yeah.
Like he got to be on it. And back to like public knowledge of social awareness or social interaction awareness. You know, when you're not raised or taught that as a young person, you come off looking like an asshole like me as a teenager or as an adult because you weren't taught that as a kid. And I feel like a lot of people nowadays weren't taught that, or if they were taught that as a young individual, they forgot because they just had a screen put in their face, or they were just watching TV. You know what I'm saying?
That is one thing that is eating our children alive, like especially the little ones. Is this and tablets and stuff. It's like why does your 2-year-old need a tablet?
He doesn't need a tablet, man. He needs to go look at some butterflies and draw some shit.
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
Like me personally, I didn't have like a phone till like high school, pretty much.
I had my first like real phone when I was like 13.
That's what I'm saying. Like I didn't need it either. I was outside
I
and
was
play around
enjoying myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't need no tablet to And then as soon as you take it away, they're going crazy, man.
Yeah, for real.
Because it's just everybody's being so hypnotized with technology, social media, and it's just failing us.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, man. It's addictive. Like I remember the first time I got a phone. I found my sister's old iPhone 6 underneath the couch when I was 10. My dad let me have it. I had it for about a year before I shattered it. But in that year, I found Instagram. I found social media. I already knew what YouTube was because I'd go on the computer and watch it, or like the PlayStation or whatnot, video games and all that. But I discovered porn at like 10 years old. You know what I'm saying? And like all this crazy shit definitely fucked my brain up. Definitely put me in like a box. You know what I'm saying? It definitely, especially the porn, man. It made me look at women and people in general totally differently.
Yeah.
Like being like 9-10 years old and seeing that, you could literally just look at anyone and just imagine them naked. You could just be like, yo, because you see people naked like every night when you watch porn. Because I was addicted to porn as a young lad. It was terrible. And I blame that on technology. Not only on technology, but the internet and my parent. My dad at the time not monitoring me. Let me have a phone at 10 years old. You know what I'm saying? I blame that on how I was raised, and I blame it on the internet not being, necessarily as safe as it could be. But at the end of the day, it is the parent and the individual's fault. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And I feel like, now this is not the case for me, but a lot of parents, at least from our generation, a lot of parents are not that much older than the children.
That is true.
You know what I mean? There's people in school now, their parents are in their late 20s.
Yeah.
And it's like, how are you going to raise a kid when you're still a kid yourself?
You haven't really figured life out.
What were you going to say, Marcus?
No, I was just saying, like, you haven't really figured life out like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. How are you going to raise a kid when you barely raised yourself yet?
Yeah.
I feel like that's always been a common thing, but I feel like with the increase in population in general, like more immigrants coming here, just the increase in people around us, I feel like you're just going to see it more.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's always been a common thing, people having kids young, but it's just, the increase in people, the increase of that specifically, and you're going to see it more. Because like I always feel like people been fucking, you know what I mean? Like, my friend Michael lost his virginity when he was 12, and the only reason I name drop these people is because I know they're cool with it, and I'm not mentioning last names.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not mentioning no last names, and I know the people that I'm mentioning are chill. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, man, he was a wild one. Lost his virginity when he was 12. He got, like, 15 bodies right now, dude. And he's our age. He's the same age as me and you, Rory. If y'all don't know yet, Marcus is actually a year older than me and Rory.
Yeah, I'm 19.
Yeah, he's the old head here. He's the young
Unk.
Yep.
But, yeah. You know what was curious? I seen a Instagram dude, like a motivational speaker, talk about how our language, like Gen Z and the generation below us, like the brand new generation, how our language is like very complicated. Like it's funny and sarcastic, very sarcastic, yet incredibly complex. Like one word could mean 2 or 3 different things, and that goes for a lot of different words too. You know,
especially through text messages and stuff too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, think about that. Like, LOL, like, lol, laugh out loud. Like, something as simple as that, Or, like, chop shit, meaning an ugly girl, because chopped means ugly and shite means girl. Like, where does that come from? But shit also could mean shit, but, like, but SHYTE could mean like something good, like good stuff. You know what I'm saying? Or it could mean girl, or like it could legitimately mean shit, and you're just spelling it that way because you want to. Like it's like it could like there's like a bunch of different. You know what I'm saying? For just one word, and that's what a bunch of different words in our generation. And I feel like as people like and I feel like this goes with novelty theory, because not only in the novelty theory does time fold in on itself, but everything does, because everything continuously gets so complex that it just has to fold in on itself. It has to restart because it's gotten so complex. Language, life, everything. I don't think we're near that point though. I think we could get a lot more complex.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They can get a lot more complicated than they are now.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I sometimes have a hard time understanding what the hell people are talking about. And they say shit. It's like, yo, what the fuck does that mean?
Nah, it be pissing me off when, like, people you be using, like, numbers as vowels. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to think of, like, instead of, fucking, I don't know, straight, STR8, as in, like, the number. That shit pisses me off.
Yeah,
like,
straight.
Yeah.
They spell it like that. Or like when they're texting to you or something.
Yeah,
like
to you.
Yeah. Like, come on.
Like, bro, what are we doing right now?
It'll be like 2 and then the letter U.
Yeah,
They don't spell out U. It's like what the fuck are you talking about, bro?
The crazy thing is, like, how are we that lazy that we cannot type out words?
That's what I'm saying. Like, you really better, instead of finishing your word, you better go with the number pad.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing that for?
No, people. Maybe it's because back in the day, texting on like a flip phone or something like that was a lot harder because you had to like click 1, and then you had to go through A, B, or C.
See, that was understandable though.
So,
They
you would type out
like
LOL
on pager
or
and stuff. They would do that stuff because like that made sense. But we have a full.
But like, well, it just caught on now, and it's more convenient because in all reality, it is quicker. You know, LMFO is a lot quicker than spelling.
No, I'm not mad at like the abbreviations. I'm mad at people like STR8, like
straight.
Yeah.
Like what do you do?
Spell the rest of the word.
Like just spell the rest of the word. Yeah. My gamer tag, it's not my gamer tag. My brother came up with it on my old account. It's great, and the letter 8. It's like GRE, and then 8, and then in bed. IND. Great 8 in bed. Yeah, it's a good one. I like it. But yeah, that's why I kept it because I always thought it was funny. Yeah.
Written hieroglyphics in this day and age.
Yeah.
Imagine like what the future is gonna be like a million years from now. Like, what if a million years from now we get like a reset and like society's like uncovering like fossils of like our houses and our cars and shit, and they're like, oh, this is back in the year whatever. You know what I mean? Like, that'd be crazy.
I feel like eventually that will happen.
Yeah. What about the internet? You think the internet will still be around? Fuck.
I feel like a source of it would be like maybe saved to some sort of like storage device.
And then by then it'd be seen as like ancient technology. Why are we using the internet?
Like, Google, what the fuck is that shit?
Fucking YouTube. Why are we on YouTube?
But imagine what life would be like at that point. Like, how advanced would we be? Like, would we be like telepathic to the point where we wouldn't even talk anymore? Like, how crazy is that?
I couldn't live in a world like that.
Well, at that time it'd be normal. You know what I'm saying? It'd be a little bit different. Yeah. It'd be like back when we were cavemen, when like, you know, like throwing your shit at someone was normal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't like someone, you fucking picked your shit up, you just threw it at them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that cavemen did that, but like some weird shit like that was probably normal at that time.
They do that in jail.
Yeah. They could do that in jail. Yeah. So people still do. Yeah, they probably did do some wild shit like that when they were cavemen. You know, fucking people do it nowadays in jail. They definitely did some wild shit like that though.
I'd be damned.
Yeah, fuck that, dude. Now, what do you think about going to space? I know that came out of nowhere, but
to space,
like going to Mars and shit, like Elon Musk type deal.
I mean, I feel like it would be cool to see what else is out there.
Yeah. But
at the same time, I feel like it's that money could be
used here.
Like we have a lot of people that would benefit off of that couple $1 billion that you're spending on a rocket.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's crazy. Like, there's cities and schools and anything that you could use that money towards, but we're spending it on a rocket to go somewhere where we don't even know if we're going to find anything up there.
Yeah.
We don't even know if it's just going to be a meaningless mission.
Like, journey to Mars does not need to happen. At least right now. Like, I feel like...
Oh, yeah, right now it doesn't need to happen. The Earth has plenty of years left.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, we need our priorities now should be like just maximizing the Earth's resources and just like coming to a united world. That should be our top priorities right now.
Mm-hmm.
Overcoming difference between races, you know what I mean? Just stopping all this political drama.
Yeah.
Dropping all these tariffs and embargoes on nations and stuff.
Yeah,
just
I agree.
coming together as a human being, humanity. You know what I mean?
Well, they want to make a one world government. That's what is predicted to happen soon. Like
Do you think that would be a good thing? Like, what if it was free?
It's iffy.
Like, what if it was like a one world American government where like you could have guns and be free and do what you want, but there is laws that protect against certain things.
Then yeah, I mean it could be a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah.
And everything has its ups and its downs.
Speaking of government, what do you think of the new presidency with Trump being in? Because me and Marcus, we didn't really look at Kamala as a good candidate. I can't vote. I'm not sure who Marcus voted for, but Trump came in. We were looking at Trump as the more favorable candidate. A lot of America has looked at him as the more favorable candidate.
Mm-hmm.
But with what's been going on recently with the tariffs and stuff and the prices still staying high, what do you think's going on with the new presidency? How do you feel?
It's really hard to tell right now. Like I mean, I hope that he has some type of plan or whatever he has going on to bring these prices down and to give us a better way of living. But I mean, at the same time, it's like, what can you do?
Yeah.
What can you do? That's like the question of the masses, huh?
Yeah.
What can you do?
But
would vote next 4 years or something?
But would Kamala have done anything better, you think?
I don't know. I mean, personally, I think I can't tell. Because I'm not too into the political atmosphere. I don't know too much about it.
Politics.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, in my personal opinion, looking at her as a politician, she's not too young. I mean, she's like 50. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She's been around. She's a prosecutor, But overall, I think Trump has more experience and would be a better president just because he's been president before already once. He's a businessman. He knows business. He knows stocks. He knows the stock market.
Exactly.
He knows what's going on with tariffs and stuff like that. In my opinion, I think he does.
And that's really what America is a giant business.
Exactly. So I feel like a businessman running America wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing compared to like a judge running America, which that's what she was. She was a prosecutor, a judge. She was a straight politician. You know what I'm saying? Not really a business person. So at the end of the day, what do you think?
I mean, well, obviously we know who the better candidate was.
Yeah.
He's here now, so.
Yeah.
But I just don't see her doing anything. I don't see her doing anything better than he's doing now. Like, really, I hope everything works itself out.
Yeah.
The tariffs and all that stuff. I don't really see where he's going with it.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Yeah.
Government is very, very strange.
Yeah, it is very strange. It's very strange.
People are strange, man.
People
run the government. We are the people.
Yeah.
Yep.
You ever be fishing?
Yeah.
You fish?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Fish.
What you like to catch?
Well, I've never caught a bass, but I just be catching. I go to like Abbott's Mill and like Blair's Pond, so they catch little tiny fish.
Yeah.
But they still cook them.
Yeah, we gotta go fishing sometime for real.
Sure. Speaking of fish,
Crabbing.
we were sorting out his garden earlier, and like he I guess he decomposed a whole bunch of stuff, and like there was a rotten fish in there, bro. Pick that shit
rotten
up.
fish.
Oh my God.
Guts all over his hand. It was like melted white guts, just all over his hand.
It
smelled like shit.
Like atrocious smell. I don't even know.
Yeah. See?
There it is. You got the motherfucker. Yeah.
I feel like that's a pretty good wrap to things.
Yeah. Episode 7 of the Catatonic podcast.
I think that was a pretty good one.
Yeah, it was fucking. I loved it, man.
Yeah.
It didn't even. There was no stale moment or nothing like that. You know.
Man, it was good shit.
It's just a conversation between boys.
How long is it?
We had an hour and 22 minutes right now.
Nice.
Okay.
Alrighty, that wraps episode 7. I love y'all. Great audience. Stay safe, and we'll see you in episode 8.
I hope
For
to
sure.
be back again.
Yeah.
Thanks for hopping on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.